everyone, and welcome to lesson number 23. Today we will talk about another type of list, the array list. You can open up your Eclipse program, go to the Package Explorer, create a new project, a new Java project, let's name it lesson 23. Go to your source file, create a package, and inside this package we can create our main class, which contains the main method. So, we're now ready. An array has a size and we can't change it. If an array, for example, has a capacity of 5 elements, then it can't be modified and take more than these 5 elements. If we want a list, or even better, a place to store unlimited items, then we need an array list. We will talk in depth about array list and other lists once we have learned what inheritance is. Important things to remember are: an array list is a part of a framework collection. The size of the array list can be modified, increased or decreased, if we add and remove items. This list also allows us to randomly access it. For those of you who are familiar with the programming language C++, it is a similar thing to vector. To create a generic array list, we will talk about generic Java types in future lesson. The syntax is, and I will write it here, so generic type array list. The syntax would be ArrayList, and then you open up these this kind of brackets here, and inside of here you write a wrapper class type, for example integer or string, or a class name, for example zip. If you have created a class zip, let's say string for example now, and then you write a name for your list, and then new array list, and you close it with a semicolon. The class ArrayList contains 3 constructors and many methods. You can see all of them in the official Oracle documentation site. Today we will see some of them with our example. I will also put a link to the Oracle documentation at the description below, so you can check it on your own. But let's go and see something live. Let's create an array list which contains integers, numbers. We can say array list. No, array. Where is it? Array list here, and then we can write here integer, and then we will name it my list, and we will say new array list. So, and the semicolon. As you can see, Eclipse tells us array list cannot be resolved as a type. So you can click it, select Control, Shift and O, and then the Java util array list library will be imported. It is really important to remember that when you want to use an array list, you need to import this Java util array list. Now we have our list. Our list contains of integers, and only integers. We can't put a string, for example, inside it, or something from another class, and has the name my list. If we want to add all the elements, to add some elements at once, we can use a for loop, as we already learned, and we can say, for example, that I will create a local variable 0. So I will start with 0, and then I will say so while the number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on is less than the 10, so we'll add 10 elements, then you can increment by 1. And then we can open up our curly brackets here. Sometimes it doesn't work with my keyboard because I have many languages in it. So, and then inside the for loop we can say that every time that you loop, you can add to my list the I here. And if we want to see, to check our list, to print all the elements, there are two ways. One way is to use the system out print line, and then we can say my list. And you will see now the way that we will take our list back. Let's press run, and as you can see, we take it as an array, and we see that we have 10 elements from 0 to 9 to our list. If we want to add one more element alone, then we don't need the for loop. We can say my list add, and then we will say the number 88, for example. Oh, not add all, add. And then we can see our list again and press run. And as you can see, I have now a list of 11 elements, and the last element is the 88, the element that I added. I can also remove an element. I can say my list, remove, and now you can check the index. Which element do you want to remove? And I will say, for example, I want to remove the third element. And don't forget that when I say the third element here, I really mean the fourth element. Why? Because our enumeration starts with the 0, and we can see it. We can see it clearly now. My list. You can check it. As you can see, the element that I wanted gone was the fourth one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth element is the number 3. And here, as you can see, I don't have the number 3. It was deleted. And my list is now, once again, contains 10 elements. Now, if I want to print out every element of the list, what can I do? We have already learned it. It is a for loop, and we can say integer, and then a name, and then we say inside the list, inside my list, and for every loop, every time that you loop inside my list, I want you to print out the element A. And as you can see, this is my list, because I use the system out print line here. If I use the print f, it needs a string, and we need to convert it to string. So let's use here the line, and we will use the f later on. So now we already saw the add, the remove method, and there are also some other methods inside this class. You can check them at the documentation, and let us see some more now. For example, let's see the get method. We can say system out print line, and then write my last element is, and then we can say my list, and then use the get method. And now it asks for an index. Which element do you want to get? Let's take the 9th element. And the 9th element is also the last element, because I will say it once again, we start counting from 0. And this is my last element. Another method that we could possibly see would be the for each method, but we haven't seen the lambda expressions yet. But just for the demonstration, it is also a really important method. We can say the for each method, and then we create a lambda expression. We will see the lambda expressions in the future, and then we can say that every time you loop, I would like my number, and then we would create the toString method here. So we would turn the number to string and get it printed like that. But what's important, these elements are now not integers, but strings. So this is a string, this is a string, this is a string, because we have turned the numbers to strings using this lambda expression here and the for each. The for each, you can think about it like the English language. We say for each element inside our list, do that thing here. You can also check on your own the rest methods of the ArrayList. ArrayList, we will work a lot with ArrayLists, because they are lists, as we stated at the start, that are unlimited, that you there aren't any constraints. For example, if I set my ArrayList with a number of 20 here, there's no restriction. I can also make the list bigger or smaller. So this was it for today. I hope that you enjoyed as much as I did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them on the comment section below. Thank you all for watching.